Guinea-Bissau is part of West African. The Guinea-Bissau muna neighbority. Ngaji mi bekeri je karte fayo kete je bile temnung inyanta results announced la. But yesterday, the president himself was the first person Mia announced he was being deposed. He was coup d'etat I will announce no, and then obviously minga jemi unfold tawalonko he was arrested and also later on at night the opposition jazz mi animi ronte yo fana arrest and obviously our main rival mi alonko ya ban yo fana arrest. As I speak to you now, our source in Bissau just told us that social media, Facebook and TikTok are all down in Bissau. Only WhatsApp is accessible. Mbalo is being flown out to Abidjan right now. A new leader has been sworn in as the interim president for 1 year term period. What is your observe new quarter in Bissau?
First and foremost, komi ya fanyame nga mol be tendung jiberal be tendung ejai. Gambia ni Guinea-Bissau mu sister country leti. Relationship mimbe tema bete at the back. Adung nyentara way back to Sadauda la Wato. Aning Amilka Cabral nyolu kana Nino Viera nyolu kana 4B. Gambia and Guinea-Bissau friendship ilateria meta back adung Gambia fana mo jamal le bijamini alonko ila chosano bota Guinea-Bissau le wo yenning Guinea la kuol dundi ñokono back defan at my level ntela broda fula koto ma bakilim fakilim ala musu fula bota Guinea-Bissau nga koto ma do soto di same fada mi alonko fana ala muso bota Guinea-Bissau so aduwo mu family jamal lel bi jammini ala yo connection ol soto so min keta at personal level coming military la intervention wala military coups coup d'etat lu amanke fendi mi alonko mo nyanta encourage la so ntenga jele ko dal min keta je ani kuya warta for whatever reason coming ning carte fayo democracy be caring molla will mu minti ye wonyanta kala fendi mi alon ko anyanta bunyala adun coming ka fendi laoto nga jele Gambia Manzakunda position o tale through Ministry of Information Dr. Ismaila Sisala Ministry koto ye statement o bondile ka coup d'etat min keta ka abaidal ka abay adu ya condemn le in the strongest possible terms adum fanan kaytandi ko Guinea-Bissau ko le carte o fay more lafta minna wala nyanda ken so I think Minkeraje is very unfortunate
so and I think me and so many when it comes to military rulers more I encourage. I think my favorite person is obviously Malila leader. I like him. He's military. I like Dumbuya. He's military. I think what is important, they're doing good for their people. And if Mali the citizens are happy and there's renewed hope there. That's something me alonko civilian government makino. But then foka I think governments ngai Senegal jele when Senegal jele ECOWAS ni AU jele condemn nga Gambia government and I saw other people condemning the military coup and I joined everybody to condemn. In fact, yesterday I said it on my post Facebook people should Guinea-Bissau yanta make sure the will of the people is expressed because good election oketal and we yanta results announced la bire all of a sudden this army nata nying army mi yalongo nga minje. They were campaigning. I saw pictures of these two army generals who were campaigning with the incumbent, Mbalo. This same army guy was the one, Mbalo fongate tubinda kete Mr. Moti. So, womu onata akoy kudeta leke. And secondly, ikoyate arrest le. Cabrera arrest. He had access to his phones. He was making calls. He was okay for being flown out. Then the opposition leader Cabrera arrest and Yindong Momam Femwe Abko will access to anything. Now, a lot of people are saying this was staged. Allegedly, Mbalo knows he was losing the elections. And that's why he staged this with his men. Because even the Guinea-Bissau online, some media houses in Bissau, that's what they were telling people. So my point here is, even Mbalo, I have fallen nunkamanta ronla for this time. All of a sudden, another change. More coming for civilian governments. Sometimes is the way they act. What are some of these things prompt in their society? What do you think?
Well, it's difficult. Yalong factor jamale ka military coup sambana. But whatever the case,
Yeah.
ndenga mera military coup dal, sojarol dal, it will lead to barracks. Bari iya min for the mol nyandale fanan coming leaders.
Yeah, 2 year barracks, even when the more be injustice be because some coups more constitutional coup is coup. When somebody does a constitutional coup, you know a military coup.
Yeah, you know the thing is with military.
Yeah.
History meet and all of 99% of the time. Ika civilian governments ika accuse mina ni tol nara banko ka itol le fonka joya because ndol nga military leaders all min belo ni akondi nin kememu fulale ka mansa ya faun tuje nga jela mole coup d'etat ke for example ya jamme ko jawra metan ya jamme na da katita Uganda ni dara je Museveni bije Museveni Manson tan.
Yeah.
Yo ni dada ika Mali min faunfo they were complaining bari sainten wo fanaye niela fenko jibe ye kansulo min lo ye wati jambale di ala pura manse ala. The same thing applies to Burkina Faso. Guinea, you know, sojaro mansa kundata bari munebe kerin sa akabe lola manzala. I democracy partio dol min alon ko beloring I will ban. Yala ol kakel. Yo so you know akamunda drong adamadi yala naso jama sojarol kamin fo moli ni fanal nate ka continue wa you know Uganda ni data je Museveni e kelo ka ko mimbe kering civilian government mimbe je abe dictatorship a bolle keka ate fo nata na labanje sanji jal hanin na alpha ba mi alon ko mobe a jay Kagame be Rwanda. I mean, he's almost going to, he's now going to 30 years.
Yeah.
Amanson kata. So, ndengamera sojari aning civilian ya amanke odi maybe na institutional le macho. Yo anim fanang it's difficult to say. African, you know, governance and politics is sometimes very difficult. I'm sure there are political scientists, they have specialty in this, they can study it, but specifically Guinea-Bissau, Badam and coming now for Nyam, I reiterate my position. Kasea kang anim mansa kunda fanana lodla. Kaitandiko coming nganyinna nata. Mol lafta minna weke democracy sabati anim fanang molla wilmu minti weke military
stay barracks to
dal you know coming kudeta dal won kana tenga mira wol nyanta kel ha.
And it looks like Ntolajan, to be honest though, I think one thing I've always said, Walam, when it comes to Gambia, if anything has changed, is the role of the military in our society. Kunung keje no nyaming, kidol bitulabi te molbi karobela, be mawoje. The army stayed back. They're in the barracks, they're in the camps. Mobini ini bukan ing army of buka bensilokang. To the point, I think that is one thing. Moli wojenung ko jambeta mamambeta bari being ajeleko. We saw that in the army.
Yes, I mean, again, yes. Sojar kundali coming militarization o kakebake sojar mansa kunda koto. I don't hear him for it's important because kabirin President Barola mansa kunda nata. Wolmu fennet mini alonko ya try bake ka sojar ol bondi politiko kono. Be sojar kunti olu ninga commander in chief kondong tentu wala nga jay sojar successive military leaders minunata masane kinte he did a lot of work to try and you know ka reform sambana ate bota je Yankuba Drame nata General Drame wofana kata bake Mama Chambije Saimi Alonko, he's also working very hard. There is a security sector reform that is going on. And alhamdulillah, you know, niajibe promotional kakenyameng, you know, aning, you know, coming a lot of programs, ye ole sammanang puru sojar kunda, you know, salary la falbi otofanang. anin ka a make sure ko military nyanda min sotola nga kata nga dila bari nge dabondi politiko kono mansa kunda kana sojarol use mansa kunda kana sojarol dabulandi ku kono mela manyana yemin folo wato ning ya jamala mid the people to be caring wala la fengol be caring sojarol leka APRC tisarol dum I mean ka dum they were very heavily involved in politics. But saying but Al-Hanibi, we have a long way to go. Puruka security sector reform yinka implement ngale baka na manke soldier all damati police all intelligence and all of that. And coming yaje fanan kamoje sa ikata da NIL puruka omo ya manfair.
But police will come on hansa.
Yes, well not do column. You know, police only right so if they have basic reasonable doubt. They have right police all and in the science as na if they feel ko asobita ko ite fenne be keri mi alon kani silo manda fo mu tonyal de fama ke tonyal police all will everywhere they have the right to do bari puru intelligence NIL na mo chika ya samba wol dol wol turo fata nyimbanko kan so
but
alhamdulillah.
Okay, but the thing is fanang mol dol ba fala ko niaje soldier all fanang in another way they are not in charge. B, economic level in charge. Economic level state house, economic level na border to, katamas dulal to economic level everywhere. Ngajele to meet the people talk on a incident do kaya ye soldier rolling some people ye model allegedly malhandle the economic forces. You understand? So it all be in charge. And a lot of the Gambian people are crying minti wolom. At this point, economic man na faso to jam. Because inata min na yo mission no achieve tale. Kelo man kenung Gambia inatale nung ka the will of the people ka make sure I futa because coming keta Bissau kate fay alko mansakati da economic nata wala bar kele physical kelo man kaya now 7 years down the line hanisa economic bijang Gambian soldier bijang they are not in charge. How is that anything achieve
I can tell you ko in fact Bissau right now there is a mission there, commission of in the Gambia. There is a mission in Bissau of ECOWAS mission of Bissau, just like
ECOWAS,
in the
Gambia.
No, but again, I'm trying to.
The reason why Bissau is necessary.
But now let's go to
Bissau la colon.
Okay, now Bissau to yes, Gambia.
Okay.
Follow. The military is actually in charge.
How?
The two have different roles to play.
Okay.
Mansakunda iteninte yalo. Intelligence is very important. Wolom adama dingwa ye information on soto. Kumayata back. Ntolu nsediamu as Gambians. Ntolu ordinary Gambians ntolu kamenje at face value. Aning maybe security institutions wala commander-in-chief ka intelligence may receive about its security institutions as a father. Mbenga lone ko baro min kalala tabulo kan security nin tankola kuola ndenite maulo. Those are classified and they are secretive. Aduntol be lata nyinal ko tonya former President Yaya Jammeh I loyally supported in the institutions. Ntol ngalon ne hanna manke sojar kunda dama nitara in the SOE state-owned enterprises, ports authority lombang naweklo. You have a lot of people they are still very loyal to Jammeh, and if they have the opportunity, they'll do everything possible. Purukajako Jammeh will prevails in this country, and you have people they under normal circumstances in the military will dolnete tambila the rank of a sergeant or a rank of O2 or O1 or at least a lieutenant. Well, they were generals, some are lieutenant colonels, some are colonels in the military. So well, loyalty to a man, me or dealer, even though they did not in actual sense deserve, is important. Adumimuje problem they have guns. So Sojar Kunda, you have military intelligence. Me alongo, they spy on the military. The information they have about people who is loyal to who and what influence they have, In fact, there are things me alongo nte wol fonola, but in composition of fonjibe in the security, in terms of ethno-linguistic backgrounds. Coming si jumalebe munto si jumalebe ibatara ko still there is a heavy, very high level of loyalty still to former president. But we know President Benjamin and the military Benjamin saying we don't want to victimize anybody. Malafi moye ye mo bayaita suokono ye la fam ye for salary la iba domando manka mini alon ko any rankol sore ma deserve ye bula ye ta through the normal process for a C retirement all. I malaf kamo victimize. But if you are doing that, the process of reforming the institution will be very slow. So again, I'm going back to my point. Intelligence ni information on member mansabulu ani Security Council about
but what I'm saying, physically we haven't seen any reforms. Security sector reform, 7 years, nothing has taken place.
There is
nothing.
There is a
Nothing
lot
has
of reform
taken
going
place.
on. Follow sign. Puriyedung armed forces kono. The process ikatani minna is very, very rigorous. Yeah, family. That's one reform. Ikata example la janni ke promote yaya jamme secondan. I remember that Faraba University la building follow. Abalo la lume, I was a reporter there on that day for GRTS. That ye Lantombo was a lieutenant colonel. Woluna promote direct to Major General from Lieutenant Colonel. He was very happy with him. Alora meeting over and Faraba Molbo remember Lantombo Tamba is alive. I promote to Major General Wodula. Nga molje mini alon ko ay content rong fenko be kering I promote direct to colonel from perhaps a lieutenant. So sign ite wol jela institutional kon. Immigration department wo watu ndol ngalon ne kabiri ya jame biye mol kanale mol chikadro mo jama bali ko ali samba immigration.
Bari ko sa alfa nan ko leke
no wo mbatu ni aje
no from institution state let me finish state owned enterprises to securities
okay immigration na director ta immigration na post ye press release bondi and by the way immigration na director mbaten tula bake mbaja ila mbu they are now doing a lot of background checks on the new intakes mini alonko they are using fake high school certificates. Molla High School, Ahmed Gitteh, I had an excellent high school result. Moderate na high school result I have forged. I ento use. Wal siya battle no. Ita immigration. Walla yeta school also ye fake result or worse result or fenge. They made a press release. So these are things when I be carrying. Need a police fanang sign. You have a lot of reforms going on in Gambia Police Force.
Gambia Police Force.
Yes, need a high
let me just break you there. Gambia Police Force recruit all minta. Gambia be complain ka wallela. Omar na boyo mi ya parliament mandina ring. It was the recruit that malhandled him, allegedly. Obviously, protesters solo, pura data flow protesters solo is the recruits. Ngajele, name protesters muteke handle nyam police station or kono. I'm sorry, but I don't see any of those reforms at the Gambia Police Force.
I mean, okay, Umar's case was very unfortunate, and most sincere condolences to the family. Ninko reforms bije Adamadin Kunda. It's an imperfect society. Mose bete anyao nya nyaje alako adamadium walti nasi mankutolo abemu nasi fengolti kulebuna adamun khata ay adamadinje aka nasi kuolke. So incidents like minketa mandinari is fenna mialonko wolu adamaya kono akasotole from time to time. Mafoko is justified. Bari adamaya kono ni mistakes ifal kasotole. Bari mi yam kontan in the J. Olam yindiko. Man say very high level government officials. Ye wolle ki itata e sita ning alfal kachat. Adung minu bije funding ke kunda under other regimes in this country. Malaf katolfo. Na molje be kamfaring funding keol and I highly respected their frustration, but then they spoke freely. Diamutale even though dolu ye comfort o diamol but alhamdulillah minu tata je I alfayata nyawnya imaji be ko nyilka kumo dol fo jan they are not appropriate ye lamoy with respect adun ye asonyi nako allafta nyin ko investigate nyamen mba investigate long iko after private malon for private corona lombam private ye feo fembo manza kunda ko no problem. So we are itandile ko there is reform because government is listening to the people. Security institutions are listening. Again, this is not to say core we have everything that we want. Coming feofel lafta ambassador, it will take time fatu. Sanji muanim fula. Sojar kunda mingi moya personalize ayaka 30. Kao bill 8 years to
Mkol for but in call for yawante I'm being honest ninga minje soldier ul tanga development je ngafole. But what I'm telling you, nothing has changed when it comes to the police. Nganyim protest ol min beja keta pura dini wala protest. Ika ye moltar lorin drum moko eko your assembly jako eko know what we are legal. Param ye nyapika ye bute ye five ngol kono. That is not supposed to happen in the 21st century in 2025 in Gambia.
Again, I'm not going to justify it. Follow. Minne protest ye protest nde Ahmed Gitteh. I complain all the time about data of a particular GSM operator.
Yeah.
Ningana 10, 15 whatever gigabytes ang few ninge kumandi konyo kela app car lebono ila ka mbukala kata nyame. So I mean ningantela financial ability jibe nara university dinno do la fenko jibe it's bari lua fana jo yata nyao nya lua somebody police or la puru ya authorize yeta ye demonstrate wala ya fo ko no, this is not the time that is appropriate puru you show your anger. So ninga pami diala alta nimman pami diala alkanata. So yaje ning moy authority soro adun authority mi asoro is a legal authority coming luale wo sembo diala yo nite balantala ite kaminke woni lua manta. So nini wo jakar lota iko mi alon ko lua sembo diala adu wole be tonya kan woye min fo woye bay ite mi mantara silo kan lua la karolete ta lo watu da ka confrontation o sambana for restrain by ke ni one thing tonya be min
and that right there restraint because lua e sembo di police la bari fana sembo dandura soto lua ma fu police ko hanna tara nte am wrongfully assembled here ni entara ya ma fu ko inyanta lipalale lua man sembo di police la e mo bute aya malhandle aya maltreat lua mo sembo di fanana even though kaba president of mbebe lua le koro. So the police are not above the law. They are itol fanana ila sembo under a law le ni mo tara dulato. And you feel like it's assembled illegally. Obviously, this is debatable because the Public Order Act, lua mean for not to be assembled and even use the PA system or use la, you need permission from the police. But if you just walk into an office and give a letter di mola lua ma wo simba kam to ko denga kulle ke na ko radato lua man permission need pour ko woke ñu no fanam pour ta pour public office can let a hand over. They don't need a permit for that. That was a public office and they are working there to hand over a letter. They were not going there, but that is debatable. But what I'm saying, the laws of the land, police woman sembo so hani ente tarambe assemble illegally kanya pin kan kambute you right so that can arrest and take me and the law takes its course. But it can only pakamal handle that. We should be clear about that. They don't have right to do that.
Yeah, I mean, again, woman ke fendi me alonko mo ba dinala. But again, I commend you for bringing up these kinds of discussion because, like we are saying, all these are part of reform. At least police will be maybe CD from another high command. So the fact we have media, me alonko they scrutinize, they discuss things. Me alonko yajeko they are okay, these ones are not okay. If an alkasile ka jot down and they go and go to the drawing board to see what happens. I know you come in for maybe you are a journalist, a human rights person, you might look at it from this perspective because that's your training, a journalist. They are very particular, very passionate about the rights of the people. Police maybe not a jibe from his training ateka minje olom ninyimbijang Pura is very close to the road. American embassy is just next to Pura.
So?
Mampare.
Okay.
There is a lot of
the American embassy be so.
But he cannot stop. He cannot just don't talk about American
Go ahead.
embassy.
Okay, go ahead.
So American embassy is just closed, and then opposite you have a bank. These are all very high, highly visited places. Maybe there is a lot of traffic. So maybe police, based on the training, okay, there'll be a heavy obstruction of the of traffic.
Yeah.
It coming for maybe perhaps year later. Again, they don't have right to express their grievances of what happened and whatever. These are Gambians; they have right to. But as we move with our reforms and democratization, there are areas police will not have it all right. There are areas we are just enjoying the democracy because a lot of those children were born under Jame. They have no idea what democracy is. We have youths we are sometimes in a haste. And I'm not saying but we don't all get it right. Sometimes from a domandomang ninku oketa ngana mistake or learn benga mufanam. So the police have learned a lot from this, and young people minufanal tataji, they've also learned a lot from what happened. And I'm sure as we move forward there'll be a lot. But ninga police ol fanalo must handle ol jibe incidents ol fanasura mi alonko the police very nicely escorted people they demonstrated, some went to State House, some went to Ministry of Justice,
and National Assembly.
And police handled these situations very nice and very professional.
And that's my thing. And that's my thing. Whenever police only, and I think that's something the police should learn from. Whenever police only protest approve, it goes so well. Because ikatale ya coordinate ni time for ika bodini wol fanka no to le assign ni time wol fa kainta ibuka fenye. But anytime they try to resist, any try they go no ika the problem okay. You don't think they should learn something from that to say, look, this is a democracy. I mean, people's right to protest is guaranteed by the Constitution, the 1997 Constitution. And more so, whenever we approved of their protest, it can be akatale peacefully. Why not? Maybe Ninka disapprove, aggravate, right? Why not we just approve it and kimbeng. Once they do that, they go and do whatever they do. No time because they respect law enforcement. But once you try to restrain them, once you try to control them, they tell you, no, we also know our rights. Because in our constitution, it is guaranteed that you can go and assemble as long as you don't use a PA system. So people will they try to show to the police, look, Nalia is permitted dinner, normal. But now Balanta, no, we know our rights, we can do this without a permit. So it is something that the police should look at.
The police will start, I will charge them for
consultation.
For being a police PRO today, because it's like akamunda be on the police or PRO, this is how. But again, Nimbe kan sambanan dame wolom police probably Niko, okay, after demonstration on la Westfield. Because yalong ni demonstration o bekel. Demonstration o sifa. Aka fenne nasi bankoy. Ya sifa o sifak. Nim mo nyanda futala banjul. Time is money. At this particular time.
No, I want to take you back. Okay, go ahead.
So, Nimonyanda Futala Banjul for 10 minutes. It another, for example, in another Westfield.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, Motol min laftala Westfield na min laftala ning OIC road la waleta. But ning alonko demonstration obijam. More traffic will be concentrated on the other side. As a can obey traffic or slow land. More do bita fendola. Aita kodo soto janim boro da lado to aita kodo soto janim boro da do ko ket lado maybe ana fat la fan fix fat ya jo anim boro eta banjula dola camo fix o fana ajo demonstration on akeda traffic was slower, economic activity ka slow.
Gitteh.
You understand?
Gitteh.
Security wise,
No, I'm not gonna let this fly. Let me come there. No, let me come here. No, no, I'm not gonna let this one fly.
Security na tambatu. Nin security la karola mo. Police will be maybe ning mol ko after demonstration la. Police don't just go sit down. Yeah, foko okay. I get rasikasa bala. Okay, jumalem. Okay, ala. Anytime a group wants to demonstrate, police have to deploy intelligence operatives. They need to know Jumalo Jumati and Mune Bacon. Sometimes you look at the temper level of young people. Nilu, Nyimkuo Minketateng, Mola Kamfa Ba Kuoto Nyadina. Sometimes this is a Kuodo Molcom Bedemose, but the level of anger and outrage about that particular thing. And in this one, me left the level of anger about that thing are different. So, near mola, neo intelligence ni psychology jibe ha nying problem on bekerim pura la nying nye mol kam fandi bakale ni koy be pamito dila mola at that level. The tendency of it turning violent is very, very high. So Nim police, they have, again, I'm not a police officer here. You are making me a police officer. I wish we go back to our meet the people store. But you
and I and so many of the people watching live in big democracies.
Yes.
You live in one of the biggest democracies.
I do.
I have seen you protest in those countries.
Yes.
And in America, where I lived, in UK, in Canada, where you live, in Senegal, our neighbor, people protest every single day.
They do.
They have bigger economies, they have bigger budgets, they are more successful countries than ours.
Exactly.
They are, it only like economic activity center, 100 folds, million folds, right? Even Senegal in our corner. But you know what? Democracy comes with so many things. And out of those things, protest is also part of democracy. Now, what we should do, let me tell you, in 22 years of Jame, more protests. Now, we want to make sure Gambian understand ko. And this process mean kake akawole sabatini kataniko nimfengo yedi mi se finti nole ya fo bonsa kunda ko this is my way of expressing because ya no protest nim protest manke no tenu bi nim commission on bekeri National Assembly at sotola. It was because people came out on protest and demand for government to act. Government acted. That is why it is important for citizens to come out and express themselves. And this is how governments and countries are strengthened. Near me frustrate. In terms of megaphones, not everybody has a megaphone that I have or you have to sit on these platforms or sit on radios and speak and government hears you. Ninta di amata bi baroya alafta moila malafka moya ba moila. Ite di amata bi baroba moila. Ntolbe kana platform was used to speak to the government, right? Some people don't have that. That is why they will go out and speak on megaphones so that government can hear them. Now, at some point, people have to understand that that is okay. Now, peaceful protest is something that every person, including government, should encourage because it tells you how your citizens are feeling. We should make manyanaka fearful. Hey, protest katinyaro, okay. That is what I don't like to hear because protests are something that are guaranteed and like a bankol mako ile puruma sakunda ya long banku dingo langa niyobe ila hamo muneti ilafta munela because not everybody has these kind of platforms to speak and talk to government, but when they go out and speak, they amplify their voices, governments hear them. And that is why it is important. Now, I don't expect you and somebody like me to say, go, protest is a problem. It's not.
Okay. I never say protest is a problem. And I never will say that protest is a problem.
Okay.
Mbediamu kan specific situation in the country.
Yeah.
You know, as they relate to communicating for them peaceful, you know, mall kafindika. Balambaya itande. Mbe foka.
Ibe protest mi mbeke jamea. Kabrimbe ibe America, ibe Canada.
Yeah, but okay, because of time.
So 2 minutes ngani wrap up.
I wouldn't want to. Yes, but again, mbe foka.
Yeah.
Protest is guaranteed in our constitution. But mimu issue to all it has to be orderly.
That's true.
And that orderliness of the protest is the responsibility of an institution of the Gambia.
Yeah.
So, when they are long, what time and which place are appropriate pour ñu protester mol se protester bar ni aje mansa kunda ya di ko police le be in charge la pour nim protest be caring isa allow wale sa deny ndengamera dalilo le bije because ni ko mole okay momo after protest later there is no problem the country is going to go to a standstill ni dol be na dan sita silo kanja sa tol nyanta ta lopta
ni fe medi da protest la ni ayen ka finti fenne kan dimi
yes fe okay dimi but again you see even with that yaje ka protest
ne yende bugo ta protest nda ka si jale because al ninta nga fe wa moy la
yes kanyi min fara protest all is a ken wala bari again ne protest fana kono jibe people with different intentions
it doesn't matter.
It matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It matters. Okay, sai.
Okay.
Mbenyin dulara popular coming going back to the FACO. Security sector reform is indeed ongoing.
I disagree.
And it's progressing. You can call National Security Advisor Abuja. He will gladly come. And he will give you the onim atumako isula tafanang. Give me time
to go. I'm going
to go and get some of these things. Every other week on just one single issue. Okay. This week na held sort of the next time young command just
propaganda
no, you want no you,
because you are coming to promote your government agenda. You have to pay me for that.
No. You see, you are a voice for those that do not
have specifically every area.
Okay. Because
the office of the president.
They are very angry. There is no health infrastructure, for example. Some are very angry with road infrastructure. Some are very angry about corruption. Some are very angry about, security. So you are a voice and a platform for those people. So you ask questions. If they have the opportunity to ask, they will ask. We will be available.
Okay.
Sister.
I will call you and we will start with State House. It's like say budget for Yemin dealer.
Yes.
Yemin dealer and Sinao Jube.